Toys, figure reviews, unboxings and rankings, random figure reviews, similar groupings of figures, and the occasional toy hunt. All right, YouTube Trolls Toys back at you with another episode of this week's Toy Haul, episode 71. And we had Juneteenth off from work, so went to see some movies on Friday and stopped by the Target near the movie theater. And they had this Series 30 Stone Cold on sale for $17.50. This is the one figure I had not picked up yet from this wave, so we could finish Bob Backlund. Not really a big Stone Cold guy, but since he was on sale, plus they had $10 off of 40, we actually bought him twice because I like to keep the Legends in box, but since he's the last figure we need to build Bob Backlund, I figured we might as well get two, because basically he was like $15 a piece after the 10 off of 40 deal, because we did pick up one more figure, which was the 60th or Legacy Collection Special Forces G.I. Joe. He's like a $43 figure. They had him on sale for $30, and then he wound up being like $25.34, so I couldn't pass him up. I have him, but I figured I could display him with an alternate head sculpt or something, so went ahead and picked up Legacy Collection Special Forces G.I. Joe as well on Friday, June 19th. All right, on Saturday, June 20th, one of our local toy stores, small local chain, the Toy Vault, they're open in the 6th store. So they were doing a buying event, so I took most of my little G.I. Joes. They were all reactions or Reaction Plus or 25th anniversaries to that open buying event. Sold them because it was so hard to say goodbye. I did keep like my 18 favorite ones, and they're hanging in the toy room here. But then we took the proceeds from that and went and collected picked up some physical media, 4Ks, Blu-rays, etc. for that collection that I have, because I got two addictions. But I did pick up this Jakks Classic Superstars, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes Daddy. Right, I love the way these look in the package as well. 2006 Jakks Pacific Dusty Rhodes. So he's coming into the collection. He'll stay in the pack, get hung on the wall. I do have another Classic Superstars Dusty, but it is not quite the same as this one. I think it's strikingly similar though, now that I look at it. See how that Dusty right there has stars on his boots, and he's got on different color tights, whereas this Dusty has blue. So he's very similar to the other Classic Superstars that we have, but not the same. And Dusty Rhodes was one of my favorite wrestling personalities. Rest in peace. I do also like the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, right? But not nearly as much as his dad. So happy to add this figure to the collection. He'll get hung up on the wall with our other Legends and Classic Superstars. All right, also arriving on Saturday, June 20th, is going to be all of our pre-orders from Valaverse. They came out with a bunch of new figures, and I just, even though they're close by, I just go ahead and usually order those if I want them, and I did. So we got Jester, Series 6, number 4. And he still has action points, but the new black figures have like spoils instead, so I'm guessing there's going to be limited edition black figures, which is different from this wave. And they made them now where the card back slides out, which is cool, but to get the action points, which you can redeem for discounted figures, you still got to cut the card back. So I don't know, maybe seems like it defeats the purpose a little bit. I mean, if you're going to be opening them, which I do, and if you're going to want the action points, which I usually redeem, I still got to cut the card back. So, I mean, I guess it is a nice feature if you weren't going to redeem the action points, though. So there is that. I guess we could say it that way. We also got, from the black, we got Vane. And see, this is what I was saying. Instead of action points, he comes with spoils. So it says cut and save spoils for future promotions. So I'm assuming there's going to be a different redeemable figure for the black than there is for the main Valaverse line, which is interesting. Same thing. It's got the card back that slides out now instead of tearing it off the card, which is cool. It's a nice update. But if you're going to redeem these, you're still going to be cutting the card backs. So maybe if you buy two, one opener and one on card. We got Lieutenant Hune, I guess that's how you say the last name, number 06, number 3 in the Action Force wave. So happy to pick her up. Always, female figures always a welcome addition, especially to the military lines like Valaverse and G.I. Joe, because they're not the most common, right? From the black, they had a couple of different variants of this army builder, the Corsairs. I only picked up one. I'm not big into the army building. I think from the site, I like this one slightly better. So we did pick up this Corsairs figure, but I don't see a need to own all of the different army builders that Valaverse has. I mainly buy one, and then I'll go with the regular characters. This is probably one of my favorites of this wave. We do have the black already, but this is Blackbeard, and he's pretty badass, I gotta say. I like him quite a bit. I do think Valaverse has superior weapons and maybe even articulation to G.I. Joe, but obviously when it comes to lore in my childhood, I remember G.I. Joe, right? I know this is like a continuation of, is a continuation of the Action Force line, and now they're branching off into their additional storylines like the black, and I love the Valaverse figures, and so I just usually mix them in with my G.I. Joes. I actually have them on a separate shelf currently right next to the Joes, but at some point, like there's my Action Force figures over there, and then we get into G.I. Joes, right? So they share a place adjacent to the Joes. So that's what it is for now. And then we got a deluxe figure that is an Action Force figure versus the black. We picked up Malice. So we wind up with 6 figures that we pre-ordered from Valaverse, and they all arrived on Saturday, June 20th. So happy to have all these new additions. I got to start getting some Valaverse and some G.I. Joes open, though. I don't know if you watch my videos, you see that I've been opening a bunch of wrestling, a bunch of He-Man, a bunch of random figures, because I do random figure review, a bunch of Super 7s. But my core collection of Joes and now Valaverse are just staying in the box, and I gotta get them. I gotta let them breathe. I gotta get better at that. And arriving on Tuesday, June 22nd, is number 197 in the classified series. We'd pre-ordered Snake Eyes Dawn Moreno from Hasbro Pulse. Once again, like I said, happy to add another female figure to the G.I. Joe collection. So 197 arrived. And we have the other pre-orders, the other figures on pre-order: Airtight, Hydra Viper, Overkill, and Sundown. And I got notification that they shipped, so hopefully they make it in time for this week's toy haul as well, but only time will tell. All right, today is Sunday, Father's Day, and as always, pardon me, I'm just holding the phone, but we went to 2 of our favorite flea markets, Rieta Ranch Flea Market in Hubbardston, Massachusetts, where we picked up this Frank Miller Sin City Hardigan in action figure form, which is obviously Bruce Willis, or more of a statue. Real toys by NECA. I don't know the years on this. 2005. I don't know if that's when it got put out or that's when the movie's from. It was $13, so that might check out. And then we also got Jessica Alba in action figure form from NECA as Nancy from Sin City. So happy to add these 2 figures from the same vendor. We also did pick up Star Wars Andor Bix Colleen. She looks plain Jane enough that we can use her as a background figure. Probably won't use her with Star Wars, but nonetheless, those 3 all coming in from the same vendor I thought was a good score. Also from Rieta Ranch, don't know who Mirror Master is, but any McFarlane Collector's Edition figure for $5 I'm in on. They had Metamorpho for the new Superman, but I passed up on him, even at that $5 price point. And then we went to Grafton Flea Market in Grafton, Massachusetts. Masters of the Universe Revelation Roboto for $5. Yes, please. And then I've been really into the movie figures recently, maybe because I'm into movie and physical media collecting now. But we got this limited edition collector series, Sean Connery as James Bond from Dr. No. And when is this figure from? 1988. 1997. I don't know when it's from. It's got multiple dates on it. I'm going to say it's 1997. That's the newest date. But for $10 to go with my Dr. No and with my James Bond Blu-ray set, I thought badass little fig to add. So those are pickups from Father's Day and on the action figure front from Rieta Ranch Flea Market in Hubbardston and Grafton Flea Market in Grafton, Massachusetts. All right, and rounding out this week's Toy Haul episode 71, pickup on Tuesday, June 23rd from Best Buy in Marlborough, Massachusetts before we went and saw Disclosure Day. I picked up this McFarlane Collector's Edition Professor Pig for half price. Don't know Professor Pig, but thought he looked pretty cool, has some cool accessories, so we added him to the collection. As always, this has been Trolls Toys. I truly appreciate you watching my videos, and we'll see you soon. Peace.